I'm going to make this sharp. I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to make this look easy. Terence Crawford hating on Gervonta Tank Davis. In a brand new interview, I haven't even watched the whole interview, but it's all over Twitter, and I've seen snippets. In this interview, Terence Crawford says some interesting things about Tank Davis. He has this shocking claim about Tank. When Tank won his title, mind you, Tank's 30 now or whatever. He won his first title at age 22. For whatever reason, Bud is going back to his first title fight, and he claims, shocking claim, that Tank weight drained Jose Pedraza to win that title. Ironically, Keyshawn Davis clout chased in the same manner, and he said virtually the same thing. He said in a recent interview, he was about to fight the dude he just fought, Dennis Baranchenko, and he says, initially I respected Tank's win over Pedraza, right? But he said once I heard the backstory, Keyshawn said he no longer respected it. So in this video, that's what I want to break down, and I ain't got no time to waste. So let me tell you how stupid this is. For starters, again, Tank has done so much since the Pedraza fight. Why would you reach back there? It's my first question. Second, at the time, Tank was not the favorite to beat Pedraza, right? In fact, in the Pedraza fight, they were saying that Tank was nervous, right?
Really nervous, Gervonta, all week around us.
You heard that. A really nervous Gervonta Davis all fight week. This is what they were saying before the fight. See, this is what I love about boxing, because I lived it. You know, I was there. You wasn't there. Some of you guys just became fans. So I remember what people were saying in real time. Like, and it's funny how it shifts and changes after outcomes are rendered. For example, when Wilder was about to fight Bermane Stiverne, not the second, but the first fight, Wilder hadn't been a champion. So just like Gervonta Davis with Pedraza, people were saying he was overrated, he was all power, he was all hype. There were a lot of doubters that didn't believe Wilder could beat Stiverne, who had beaten Chris Arreola. He had been a champion, broke Chris Arreola's nose and stuff. And we didn't know everything about Wilder because it was a younger Wilder, right? So they didn't think he could do it. He does it. Then later he does it again, even worse, in the rematch with Stiverne, right? And now in hindsight, nobody's going to go back and people are going to try to do this revisionist history where they'll go back and act like
really
that's not
nervous,
a credible win.
Gervonta.
That's not a good win for Deontay Wilder to have beaten Stiverne at the time. But for me, a real boxing pugilist fan, I give credit because I know in these situations who the person was at the time in which they fought, right? I know the circumstances. So it's just funny, after outcomes are rendered, people try to take away credit. They did it with Floyd and Canelo. At the time, people were like, Canelo, Mexican power, he's too big, he's too young, he's too fresh. Floyd don't have the same legs. Canelo. And then Canelo gets baked by Floyd Mayweather, and then people do this and go back and say, oh, that Canelo was too young, he was too green. Nah, man, we're not doing that. So, again, I'll let you listen to it. They were saying Tank wasn't going to beat Pedraza, a undefeated champion who was bigger than him, and they were saying he was nervous on fight week. Roll the clip.
Really nervous, Gervonta, all week around us, but he's had a really tough job.
The undefeated IBF Junior Lightweight Champion of the World, Jose Sniper Pedraza. Tonight, making his first attempt at the world title, introducing Gervonta Tank Davis.
hace todo el tiempo y obedeces mi órdenes.
So, undefeated Pedraza, right? Bigger than Tank. They said Tank claimed he was nervous, and then Tank cooked out of Pedraza. And they said making his first attempt at a world title, and he was only 22 years old. So how is Crawford reaching back there instead of talking about current Tank? You're going all the way back to his first fight. Cool. You know, I'll go back to his first fight too, and we'll talk about the details, because now you have people like Tank and Keyshawn who are hating, or Terence and Keyshawn who are hating on Tank, and they're trying to revise history around the facts of what happened. But the real that was here and lived it, we know that wasn't the case, right? And even when Bud had some of his earlier fights, like Gamboa, he had to do the stanky leg. Pedraza ain't make Tank do the stanky leg. So on my social media, I question, how the F did Tank drain Jose Pedraza when they fought? When Pedraza was the champion in that weight class, how are we running with this narrative that the champion who held a belt and was more proven and undefeated was drained, but he was a champion? So if you're not living the boxer life or whatever you got going on, that is your fault, right? And I said, y'all just be letting Bud Crawford or whoever say whatever with no fact checks just to hate on Tank. They were saying Tank was nervous before the fight and before he did what he did. And as you can see, Tank was smaller and younger and unproven at this point than Pedraza, who was a champion. So this whole Keyshawn, Terence Crawford narrative sounds very foolish. And it's sad because you got people going out of their way to really hate on Tank Davis, and you guys are just running with it if you have hatred towards Tank Davis. You're just like, yeah, it sounds good to me. But then I'm not going to stand for it because I really know boxing, right? And it's funny because Terence Crawford likes to put out these statements, and his whole crew acts the same way. Shakur, Keyshawn, Bo Mac, Bernie, all of them, they all kind of act the same talking points. It's like they congregate and discuss the same things. Behind the scenes, you could tell these guys have had these conversations about Tank and what he is and what he's not, and just other boxing conversations too, but particularly Tank, because they all have the same talking points and they're all recycling them, no matter how much they're untrue and how little sense they make, right? But it's funny because, again, Crawford likes to say, you stupid YouTubers, you dummy fans, y'all don't know nothing about boxing. So me, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a stupid fan, I'm a stupid YouTuber. Cool. So let's break down the facts. Let's break down what really went on, and I'll prove the hate. So he just did all that to say that Tank weight drained Pedraza, right? The champion. I've already went over that aspect of it. And the Bud Buddies, they won't say anything was wrong with Errol Spence, despite the fact that when he was walking out, his eyes looked glazed. People said it looked like he was chiefing. It looked like he was something wrong with him, like he was loaded. Abel Sanchez, boxing trainer of Triple G for the long time, said the same thing. He said, all my buddies said, what's up with this guy? Why he walking out? Before Crawford landed a punch, looked like something was up with Errol Spence. But again, Bud gets mad when people scrutinize his wins or critique his wins, and certain things are obvious, that Errol Spence probably stayed at welterweight too long, didn't comfortably make the transition or the camp or whatever, and the car accident, you know, maybe left some lingering damage or injury with his eye, whatever is going on, right? But Bud will go out and do an interview and say, I hate Tank, I don't like him, I really hate him, I really don't like that dude. And then when I say this stuff to rebut and rebuke what's being put out there, you guys say I'm a hater. You know, oh, Boxing Ego, you hating on Bud. I don't have any reason to hate on Bud. And I've never said I hate Bud. Bud literally did this interview and said, I hate I do not like Gervonta Davis. I don't like him. And then swears he's being unbiased when he's given a prediction for Tank versus Shakur. The rest of the world, like James Toney, legendary fighter, says Tank will put Shakur to bed. But somehow the person who just said, I hate Tank, I don't like the guy, and had a war of words with him, we're supposed to believe that you're giving an unbiased perspective when we know you're buddy and friends with Shakur Stevenson. But again, I don't want to get too sidetracked. Buzz said YouTubers don't know what they're talking about. You fans don't know what they're talking about. So now that you brought up this situation with Pedraza and said he was weight drained for Tank, let's talk. Let the boy Ego talk, right? And we'll see who knows boxing. So if you're insinuating that Tank, who fought Pedraza before, Lomachenko, Keyshawn, Barboza, Tito Mercado, and all these guys that later fought Pedraza, right? You're insinuating that Tank fought a weakened version of weight drain. So again, let the boy Ego talk. Keyshawn Davis, Bud's homie, fought the corpse of Pedraza, who was at the end of his career, and he was coming directly off of a loss. Guess what? Before that that loss, he was coming on, he had a draw. Before that, he had another L. So this is when your homie, Keyshawn Davis, fought Pedraza. Oh, yeah. And Pedraza was at 140, and then when he fought Keyshawn late in his career, he dropped back down to 135. Just like Gustavo Lemos. Bro, y'all can't defeat me. You cannot outsmart me with this boxing stuff. Keyshawn fought both Pedraza, a 140-pounder, at 135 pounds, coming off of a loss. Keyshawn Davis later fought Gustavo Lemos, a 140-pound, who had a tough fight with Hitchens, but lost, and he fought him at 135. So it's very funny that Bud Crawford is talking about who drained who, and I'm showing you Keyshawn Davis's career. If you don't believe me, go to BoxRec, go to Wikipedia, because I know you guys need that. I got it all up in here. I don't need BoxRec. I am the new BoxRec. I don't need Wikipedia. I don't need Chat GPT to come up with these talking points. So you do an interview and insinuate a 22-year-old Tank weight drain Pedraza, yet your own homie fought Pedraza much after Lomachenko beat him, dang near stopped him. And that's another thing. Tank stopped Pedraza. Lomachenko almost stopped, but couldn't stop Pedraza. And after he got tossed around and put in the top-ranked circuit in like a co-main, then all of a sudden, this is supposed to be a good win for Keyshawn. Gustavo Lemos is supposed to be a good win for Keyshawn, right? And you got the nerve to say Tank fought a weakened version, but your own homie is fighting a washed-up Pedraza. Let's be real, right? Boom. See, I told y'all can't beat me. This is Pedraza, right? He fought Arnold Barboza in February 23rd of the year. A year later, he dropped in weight after coming off of a loss, right? You see this L in red. So he lost to Barboza, who just became a champion. Congratulations to him. Had a year out the ring and then dropped weight to fight against Keyshawn Davis. So it's ironic when you have these strawman arguments made by boxers. On the side, this is the last fights, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last 5 fights of Pedraza, right? And Keyshawn fought him right here. But before that, he was coming off a loss, a draw, and a loss. And that's why I like to, because I know they can't beat me. I know they're not going to outthink me. That's why I like to show you guys visual aids, because me, myself, I'm a visual learner. So when I show you red, blue, red, and then after Keyshawn beat him, another red to Tito Mercado, you can't deny it. And that's the brilliant thing about BoxRec is that it's color coded. The wins are in green. Do you see any? It's like red light, green light. Do you see any motherfucking green in Pedraza's later career? So you don't, obviously. I'm showing you right here. So how are we talking about Tank? And then, mind you, that's a 22-year-old Tank. He's 30 years old. So why are we going back? If it's not hate, why are we going back to Tank's first title fight and then trying to blemish it? Bro, it looks like Crawford is insanely jealous of Terence Crawford, of Tank Davis, right? And Crawford is a great fighter. So I'm not saying in terms of him being a fighter, but more so Tank is making a lot of money at a younger age, and he got the glow. Like you guys know what I mean when I say got the glow. People checking for him, and that, I think that breeds jealousy with certain people if you don't know how to control it. You know what I mean? When someone has what you think you should have because you feel you're equal or better, right? That's going to make you feel the type of way. Like, I think, here's the thing. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous of any man or woman on this planet. And there's people, obviously, that have more than me. But I don't care about stuff like that. I'm not a material person, I guess you could say. But here's the thing. I think jealousy and envy is a natural instinct, but the difference is certain people handle it and like grow from it and use it as motivation, and then other people become cynical with it, and then it you know, it makes them gives them insecurities and makes them talk bad about people, you know, that kind of stuff. So imagine two dudes can come from the same project building. It got pee and urine in the steps. You're in the hood. You've seen a lot. Your parents are on drugs, whatever. Two people can come from that same environment. One person goes on to be a doctor or a lawyer. The other person ends up in jail and in the system. So the environment could make it harder, but one person used the negative environment and became a successful ball player, rapper, you know, some type of athlete, a movie director, came from the same hood, the same like conditions. And then one person, they chose to do something completely different and negative with their life, and they end up, you know, losing their life at a young age, going to jail, getting shot at, you know, that kind of thing. That to me is what jealousy is like. It's like everybody can experience like being a have-not and feeling like you deserve it, but that's where it becomes a fork in the road. And you could either take that, what could be jealousy and envy, and go the jealousy envy path, or you could go this path and be like, man, we went to the same school. This person got a Lambo. I deserve a Lambo, and then work hard to get the Lambo. See, that's what I do. I don't get jealous of nobody. If you got something that I want, I just figure out, man, okay, so it's doable. This person got it. So I just use that as almost like a ladder and be like, all right, this is attainable. But some people don't do that. Some people, when they feel like Bud probably feels, and I don't know, this is my personal opinion. You know, I'm giving you my personal opinion. He probably feels like, man, I beat these guys and I went to Ricky Burns' backyard, and the fans should be acting towards me how they act towards Tank. And that's where the jealousy comes in. Again, there's different levels of jealousy. Bud has never done a fight bigger than this fight, including the Errol Spence fight, because they happened the same year, and this fight had more pay-per-view buys, right? And Tank likely made more money. Ryan said he made 40, 50 million for this fight and really ate. So that's where the envy could come in. And then on top of it, Tank and Crawford have had an exchange of words. So that's even more reason for you. He says stuff about your family or whatever. So that's even more reason why that contempt gets bred. You know what I mean? But they're both great fighters. Is getting sickening. It's truly getting sickening. The Tank hate, how y'all letting this like spread like locusts to the point where it doesn't even make sense anymore. I just broke it down. You guys are talking about an old Tank win. Like, the Tank fans don't, like, we respect the history and the Pedraza win, but Tank fans ain't even worried about the Pedraza win. That's already in the bag. That's already secured. That's like me. I'm a YouTuber and I do well for myself. That's like worrying about, I want a spelling bee in the 3rd grade. Like, that's cool. That's history. But like, what that got to do with now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the people, when you don't do nothing currently, that's when you got to like Al Bundy it and be like, man, at Polk High, oh, pig. You know, the game-winning field goal at Polk High. I got recent wins. You know what I mean? Or like, you ever meet a dude and he say he pulled chicks back in the day? Bro, Boxing Ego pull them now. I don't have to like go back to, oh man, when I was in high school, I used to have them. Your boy Ego got what I need to get right now. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what I always believe. You have to just keep trying to get better. I don't know what it is about Tank. He got people in their feelings. He got people saying crazy stuff and trying to diminish his wins. And then to make this even more effed up is you got a person like Crawford. If only how smart he is in the ring, his talking points were that smart outside of it, right? We get it. You're cool with Keyshawn and you're cool with Shakur. Neither one of them have done what Tank has done. They are surviving off of moving up multiple weight classes and winning titles and like accolades like that. Enjoy. Tank got it lit. I was at Shakur's fight with Joet Gonzalez. Nobody really even knew who he was. That was Shakur's first title. Like, that's not better than anything. This Gamboa win, which is like one of Tank's throwaway wins. I said the Gamboa win is a throwaway win. That's better than beating Joet Gonzalez. This is an Olympic gold medalist who Crawford beat, right? And let Crawford and his whole team tell it. They just keep talking about like, man, Shakur moved up in weight and Shakur, he been a champion. Bro, who is he fighting? He fighting Christopher Pitbull Diaz and like, who is Shakur really beat? Like, Shakur don't this is too easy for me, man, bro. Y'all got to give me some better work. Like, come on, bro. Just give me some better work, bro. Crawford, heck of a fighter, but this ain't it, dog. Like, I could just talk for hours and make this look easy and easier. It's not going to get harder for me, bro. Who is Shakur beat? Shakur don't even have a high-profile name, like a fight that he could even put on pay-per-view. You're several notches beneath Tank. Now, again, you guys can argue, oh, man, Shakur, he give him a competitive fight and all that. Whatever. That remains to be seen. We've never seen Shakur fight anyone close. Like, we've seen Tank fight somebody dangerous. We haven't seen someone fight. Like, let me try to gather my thoughts, man. Because now y'all making me mad. Because this is too easy for me. And it'll feel like it's a waste of my time. Ryan represented danger to Tank. Bigger, younger, allegedly stronger, fast, explosive. A person like that can knock you out. Frank Martin, brolic, in shape, student of the game, great gym, great coaching, always in shape, focused, bigger than Tank, power, knocked people out. You know, he was well on his way. Tank put a stop to all that. So I'm giving you, even Rolly, these guys are all bigger than Tank, and he's winning mostly the same. One hand with Pitbull, winning the same way, right? Shakur, how many of his recent opponents, especially at lightweight, do you feel were even remotely a danger to him? One guy, Edwin De Los Santos. That is literally the only person that Boxing Ego said before the fight, this is going to be a good fight. Now, I was wrong I thought the matchup would yield better results from both sides, but it didn't. It didn't. It was just like an abysmal performance. So the one guy you fought that represented true danger, you fought negative, Shakur Stevenson, and people said it was boring and put me to sleep, stuff like that. So you guys are getting hyped up off of the names and stuff. I got to see more from Shakur. Well, I that's why I'm looking forward to his fight with Schofield. Bro, I am telling you, Shakur better look like Taimak from The Last Dragon versus Floyd Schofield. Because to me, Floyd Schofield is a far less seasoned Tank Davis. But at least he has like athleticism, power, and hunger, and he's younger than Shakur, stuff like that. So I can't wait for Shakur's fight. If he fights negative, then I don't want to hear nothing else. I don't care what nothing else what Crawford says about who wins with Tank and Shakur and all this other hating stuff that y'all putting out there. I really will not care, bro, because Tank is fighting people who are bigger than him and dangerous for him. Even Lamont Roach, bro. He might not be the biggest puncher, but he's a sneaky puncher, and he's a skilled fighter, and he, too, is bigger than Tank. Shakur's fighting guys, and he bigger than some of the guys or equal in size. He's not being dwarfed by these guys, and his only knockout is Yoshino. Yet you have this in-house bias from, you know, the B&B gym in Terence Crawford, where he's just backing all his homies, and it looked crazy. And then you seem jealous to me. That's my honest opinion, bro. You seem jealous because Tank is the one that the soil has chosen, and you feel like maybe it should be you or should have been you, and your career panned out different with Top Rank and then BBL Prime and all that. But this ain't it, man. This ain't the ticket. I've already broken down the Pedraza stuff. It's a foolish argument. It's a foolish, and I've already went over why. Let me know what you guys think. I really am the best, and I told you I was going to make it look easy. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack.